Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we are talking about PenFed Credit Union. That's right. We recently took a look at Navy Federal Credit Union, so I figured why not show PenFed some love as well. So in typical fashion here, we're going to take a quick overview of PenFed Credit Union. We'll talk about the eligibility of it. We'll talk about all their cards. I'll give you some few use cases. Of course, we'll take a look and figure out who these cards are actually good for. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button. Let's get to work. So first things first, as we don't often talk about credit unions here, let's quickly familiarize ourselves with PenFed Credit Union. So first of all, if you hadn't guessed, it stands for Pentagon Federal Credit Union, headquartered in McLean, Virginia. This is the third largest credit union with $25 billion in assets and 1.8 million members. Now that number is a little bit dated from July of 2018, of course, but still pretty respectable for a credit union. Now also when it comes to credit unions, eligibility is an important topic. So believe it or not, PenFed Credit Union is actually open to anyone, and there's a quick story behind that, so let's take a look at that, then we'll jump into the cards and the points earnings themselves. So the credit union was originally open to military and federal workers. However, PenFed actually acquired New York Progressive Credit Union back in 2018 when the credit union failed due to taxi medallion loans, and as a result, this opened up PenFed to everyone. So as a result, anyone can be a member. There is not necessarily a military or government affiliation needed. However, with all credit unions, you are going to need at least a $5 membership share in the credit union. And this is done by when you open your account, oftentimes you'll see two accounts. You'll see your checking account or your savings account, and then you'll see like a member account, a membership share. You'll have to have at least $5 in there, and that's how you become a member of the credit union. And then from there, you have the same access as everyone else does. So they have 4 credit cards to take a look at, but let's first take a look at the points earnings, what you can do with them, and then we'll talk about the 4 credit cards, come back out on the other side with some verdicts and recommendations. So the points earnings here, all these cards are points earnings cards. Now, redemptions here, gift cards, shopping portal, and travel. It is important to note, and I'll call this out when we get to the card. There's only one card, the Power Cash card, that you can actually redeem for statement credits or deposit into a bank account, either a PenFed or external Power or external bank account. And when we talk about value, according to NerdWallet, they are estimating these points to be worth about 85 cents per point, so taking about a 15-cent haircut there. So now that we know what we're earning, let's take a look at the cards themselves. So first up, we have the gold card. There is no annual fee. There's also no multipliers because this is your classic balance transfer card. So the benefits here are going to be a low APR on all purchases, and there are also no foreign transaction fees. And the no foreign transaction fees is a theme throughout all of the cards. Moving on to the next card in the lineup, we have the Platinum Rewards card. So no annual fee here. Your multiplier is going to be 5x at gas stations and EV charging. So if you're unfamiliar, EV charging is like if you have a Tesla and you have to plug it in at a supercharger network, electric vehicle charging. That's what that stands for. 3x back at supermarkets that include Walmart and Target, which is a rarity. Normally Walmart and Target are excluded from almost all other credit cards, grocery store categories. 3x back at restaurants, and then 3x on TV, radio, cable, and streaming services. Benefits, again, there are no foreign transaction fees. Next up, we have the Pathfinder Card. So now you do have an annual fee of $95. So what do you get for this $95? Well, your multipliers here are going to be 4x on travel if you are an Honors Advantage member, and we will touch on the Honors Advantage account right after these cards, so stay tuned for that. If you are not an Honors Advantage member, you're looking at 3x back on travel, 1.5 back on all other purchases. Now the benefits here, you have a $100 airline ancillary statement credit. So when you talk about ancillary credit, think very similar to the Platinum cards, the Amex Platinum cards, annual fee or travel credit, sorry. So you're talking about baggage fees, lounges, things like that, not necessarily plane tickets. Though I couldn't find any data points that say if there's workarounds or things like that. You're also going to get global entry or TSA pre-check credit. You can value that at $100, priority pass, and then no foreign transaction fees again. Now rounding up the lineup here is the card we talked about on the points earnings. This is the Power Cash card, so there's no annual fee. Your multipliers here are going to be 2x on all purchases, again, if you're an Honors Advantage member. If not, 1.5x on all their purchases. And the benefits here, there are no foreign transaction fees. And so there you have it. That is the PenFed card catalog. Now, in a second, I'll give you my thoughts on the cards, but one thing that came up on 2 of the cards was that Honors Advantage count. So let's go ahead and take a look at that so you can get some more information and count it into your full decision-making process. So Honors Advantage is a program that gives you those extra multipliers on their cards and probably a few other products. So let's talk about eligibility. How do you become Honors Advantage member? Well, there's 2 factors here. First of all, you can have an Access America checking account, which is going to require one of 2 things to avoid avoid fees. A monthly $500 direct deposit, that's like from an employer, your payroll, something like that, or a $500 daily balance. If you do those two things, the account will be fee-free. Now, on the other hand here, option number 2 is military service of the primary applicant. So this is extended to active duty folks, reserve folks, honorably discharged, and retired individuals. That is Honor's Advantage. I checked out the checking account. I mean, overall, it's fine, right? Like, I don't think the requirements are that high to avoid fees. They also have accounts, plenty of accounts that are fee-free no matter what. So this is just kind of their next tier up. Now, overall, again, with a credit union and PenFed, this is really designed for folks who only want this to be their banking location, aren't going to have a bunch of different bank accounts. So for most people considering this, I think Honor's Advantage in that American checking account is probably fine. Again, the minimums are easily doable just with, everyday transactions like getting paid, or $500 isn't that big of a requirement. So there's that. Now let's talk about the cards themselves. Now, I think these are good cards with a catch. Right? That's the best way I can describe it. So first of all, the Platinum jumped out to me because, again, 5x on gas sounds great, and I actually haven't seen a card that took into account electronic vehicle charging stations, which is a category that's going to be growing. Again, Tesla's most known for it, but Ford has the Mustang Mach-E, the F-150 Lightning. A lot of folks are getting into this, so at some point, this is a good category to think about for card issuers. So at first pass, you see all those multipliers. However, there's two hangups. One, I do like NerdWallet's website. I'm going to trust them. They say they're valuing these 85 cents on the dollar, so that kind of hurts. Generally speaking, points should be a 1-2-1, so 1 cent per point. That's the basement minimum on points. Now, the other limiting thing here is you can't actually transfer these out as cash back, either for a statement credit or to a bank account. Even a PenFed bank account won't do. So you're really stuck with gift cards or the shopping portal or travel, I guess. But I mean, if you're really into travel, then you're probably not looking at these, I would guess. So, the multipliers are solid. You're taking a little bit of haircut, but it is limiting, and it is weird to me that you can't cash them out, especially considering it's an 85 cent on the dollar valuation. Now, the other interesting one here is the Power Cash card. Again, that is the one where you can redeem for cash. That's the only one you can redeem for cash. Now, again, it's really nice because there's no foreign transaction fees, but even at that 2%, obviously the Citi Double Cash is out there at 2% as well, with no requirements to having a certain bank account or minimum balance or anything like that. But Double Cash does have foreign transaction fees. Power Cash does not. So kind of just depends on your spending and what you're doing. And then the Pathfinder card, also interesting. Again, 4x on travel, not bad. It's a pretty high multiplier. Again, $95 annual fee, but you do have that $100 ancillary travel credit. Again, I don't believe that can be used on plane tickets. Again, you're talking about checked bags and fees, hence the word ancillary. I don't know if there's any workarounds. These cards really aren't popular enough to have a ton of data points out there. So if you do know, let us know down below, of course. So overall, look, if you're with PenFed right now and you have the Honor's Advantage account, I don't think these cards are necessarily bad. You just need to be aware of the two catches. You can't always redeem the way you want, and you're kind of taking a little bit of a haircut on the points themselves, again, according to NerdWallet. So if you're not with PenFed, I would probably look elsewhere to begin with, but if you are with PenFed, they're not bad, but again, I do think there's better options elsewhere. We've seen a lot of cards that come out and just give you 2%. I mean, Wells Fargo Active Cash, Citi Custom Cash will give you 5%. There's a lot of no annual fee cards that beat these, have a better 1-to-1 point redemption rate, and allow you to redeem your points for cash or statement credits, which is probably what you want to do when you're here. So overall, that's my thoughts on PenFed. If you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, of course, with that Sunday recap episode that is all the news you can use in the week that wasn't credit and finance. My question for you guys is, if you're a part of PenFed or you're considering it or have some of these cards, let me know your thoughts down below. Have you been able to get better redemptions than that 85 cents on the dollar that NerdWallet is talking about? What do you think about the Honor's Advantage program and that checking account? Is it worth it? Love to get your thoughts on that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.